I live for one person and one person only, and that's Jesus Christ. That's it. That's it. Now, when you do that, you're planted. You're going to bring forth fruit. You're not going to wither. You're going to prosper. Listen, he's not talking about this prosperity mess that you hear from these other people. He's not talking about this healing and all this craziness, folks. He's talking about prospering toward God, prospering in the things of God. He isn't doing no money. You're going to have no money in heaven. You're not going to need that mess. You're not going to need healing in heaven. You're not going to need any of that stuff. So the prospering he's talking about is toward God. The withering he's talking about is what God commanded us to do, to be ministers of reconciliation. That won't wither. All right. Now, let's go back. Let's go look at this. See what God said here. All right, so he goes, all things are lawful, but helpful. All things are lawful, but edify. So we know what that means. All right, then he goes on, he starts talking about the meat and all that stuff. Why? Because in Corinth, they had idols and had these huge temples where the priests that served the idols used to make sacrifices, and that's where they got the fresh meat. So in the market, what he was saying is, hey, look, that's the only place in the world in that area you can go get fresh meat. Let's go to those temples and take the meat that you bought at that grocery store, if you want to call it that, and you take that home and you cook. Otherwise, it's going to be some meat that kind of rotten, and people didn't want that. So that's what he was talking about here when he says sold in the meat market. The meat market was at the false temples. So another believer seeing a mature believer go up to the market, they're going to think you went up there to serve an idol, and you're taking that meat home as practice of serving the idol, when all you wanted was some fresh meat. Okay? For example, I'm going to bring it up to today's vernacular. Let's say you're in Las Vegas, and wherever else they may have gambling establishment, and there's a nice restaurant in that gambling establishment, and you go into that gambling establishment not to gamble, not to do anything else, but to go eat at a nice restaurant. Somebody walks in there and they see somebody who's either a believer or non-believer, and they go, you see, I knew that rascal wasn't real. Look at him, over here gambling, and all you're doing is having a nice meal. See? And that's how innocent that stuff can be, to where you lose your testimony from going to what? Nothing bad. No, there's no sin, friends, in going eat at a restaurant inside of a gambling establishment. Is it lawful? Yes. So it passed the first test. It's lawful to you. Did it promote the gospel? No. So that's strike number one. Should I, and I'm talking about Kevin, okay? Should I do it? No. Am I wrong for doing it? No. Did it bring glory to God? Yeah, I gave God thanks for it, for eating what I ate. But on the backside, it may have caused somebody to stumble. So that's the point, friends. So you got to look and weigh this stuff. That's why he says me. It has to be for you, because I can't tell you, what's bringing glory to God in your life. It makes a difference in the maturity level. It really does. A young believer's conscience is going to prick them a lot harder than a mature believer. Some things a mature believer is going to allow, a young believer going to say, oh man, that rascal can't be saved. Look at what he's doing. So you have to understand that that plays a huge part in it. All right. Now we read this other part, so I'm not going to get into that. I want to move on. But look, here it is. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Therefore, whatever you eat, and you can plug in wherever you go, whatever you participate in, whatever you do how much of it? There's that word again. It keeps popping up here. What word is that, Kevin? I'm going to underline it. Look at this right here. How much? All of it. All of it, friends. Not some of it. All of it, to the glory of God. To the satisfaction of you? No. To the satisfaction of your pastor? No. To the satisfaction of whoever? No. You do all of it. You and I live for an audience of one. You do it for the glory of the one who purchased you. Don't give any offense. Why? That they may be saved. See that? You are already profitable, not seeking your own profit, but for the profit of many, that is unbelievers, so that they can be saved, friends. That's the only purpose God gives in the book.